There is nothing worse than when evil thinks it's right. We've all had that epiphany, that come to the Lord moment when we're loud and wrong, particularly in class or in school or a meeting in your office, the conversation over the phone, you start yelling and you realize, oh, that wasn't you that called me. Oh, that wasn't you that said, oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was you. We've all been loud and wrong, but we're quick to correct it. That is, if you're not a psychopath or a narcissist. Those people are never quick to correct wrong. They hate being wrong. They'd rather be wrong than right because it impedes upon their arrogance, their pride, and their self-righteousness. So there's nothing worse than when evil thinks it's right. That's a little different than the narcissist who knows he's wrong, or the arrogant who know they're wrong. You know the type, and many of you are the type yourself. You know you're wrong, but you just hate to admit it. Your pride gets in the way. You don't want them to know. You don't want that person to know. That's different than evil that thinks it's right. That's far more dangerous than you who try to hide the fact that you shouldn't have texted that, you shouldn't have said that, you shouldn't have done that, you shouldn't have went there, you shouldn't have bought that, you shouldn't have accepted that, you shouldn't have drank that, you shouldn't have eaten that, you shouldn't digested that. The difference is when you know you are wrong, there is still a conscience, as opposed to when you think you're right, believe you're right. When evil thinks it's right, actually really believes it's right. Die hard in the wool, convinced that taking off your head, spitting in your face, robbing you, raping you, pillaging you, enslaving you is righteous. It's the right thing to do. It's the holy thing to do. Why, yes, I must kill you. Yes, I must rob you. Yes, I must deceive you by all means necessary because you are an infidel. You all have to come to the conclusion of understanding that is what Islam is. Sunnah, Shia, caliphate here, caliphate there. The Muslim Brotherhood, Boko Haram, Hezbollah, Hamas, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, the mullahs. You see, they think, no, they know they're right. And you must be forced to convert or eliminated, subjugated, eliminated, or converted. And death is wonderful. It's my only sure way, according to the Hadith, to really get a sure pass into that eternal 72 version promise. You see, they're waiting for their Mahdi, their Messiah. And whereas Westerners who have no geopolitical understanding of these theocratic extremist regimes believe that there is reason, you can't reason with them. Their beliefs aren't based on politic and reason. It's based on religious fervor, thousands of years old. And everything that they are or do is built around building and making a way for the ultimate caliphate, for the Mahdi, for their Messiah. By blood and gore, yes, we can hasten it. The sooner we can get these bombs and these explosions and this thing, we will hasten it. Some Christian fundamentalists have that belief of hastening the coming of the Lord. God does not need your help in his coming, by the way. But you, unfortunately, believe that you can use the promise of God's coming, or your false God when it comes to Islam, to project yourself over every other creature and nation that exists. You have established yourself not just as the supreme leader, but the supreme race. You are supremacists. And everybody's talking about white supremacy. That's not your problem. It's Islamic supremacy. But you're too dumb to get that. You have no understanding of history. When evil thinks it's right. That's a lot of serial killers. They think you enjoy it when they're cutting you open. They are convinced of it. Something in that brain has gone so awry that they actually are helping you, and they believe it. They're freeing you from this body. Why, they must suffocate you, strangle you, drown you, toss you over a cliff, eat you alive. You get to live in me. So I'll just eat you alive so you can continue your life in me. Why, I really am convinced of that. That's what you're dealing with. Doesn't it sound horrible? But that's what you're dealing with. Evil that thinks and believes it's right. Interesting, isn't it? Even the devil knew he was wrong. Worse than the devil. He knew what he was doing. But you are gone. You are absolutely psychotic. There is no... Are you like that, by the way? Are you that type of person? Most of you are the first premise I laid out. You know you're wrong, but you're too prideful to humble yourself. Too arrogant, too prideful, but you know you're wrong. It almost yields the same result as someone who's evil and think they're right. Because essentially, the results are similar to those that unfortunately know you or at your behest. The people that are tied to you almost suffer a similar fate. You see, the one that is evil and believe they're right just edges you off just a little bit. It's a little bit more dangerous than the ones who know they're wrong and refuse to admit it. But that would be your brother or your sister, the one who is evil and believe they're right. And that's the Democrats with Islam. The Democrats, they know they're wrong. They really do. There might be a few, but they know they're wrong. It doesn't matter. They have so much confirmation bias, so much prejudice, so much built up hatred. They know you've got the better solution, the better policy. They know the borders should not be open. They know that. They know illegals should not be voting. They know that. Doesn't matter. But they have opened the door to something worse than they are. And those are the ones that don't know they're wrong and don't believe that they're wrong. They believe their evil is righteous. And that is why Islam has used so cleverly the liberal, progressive, feminist Democratic Party. You see, all of those elements work very handedly to the means and ends and goals of Islam. They absolutely love to work with the communists, the progressive, the liberal, the atheist. Can you believe that? Because you all are helping to achieve their goal. Feminists, can you believe Islam would work with feminists and gays? No. But they pretend to, don't they? There is no Islamic country where they work with feminists and gays. And they didn't come here and all of a sudden change. They are the same, but they have a strategy and they're committed to it. So they'll go and vote and talk about all of the things that make you liberal women, you Democrats, you progressives. Oh, look, they're fine, they're peaceful. They'll make you turn on your own nation and your own nation's faith. They will guilt you and intimidate you and threaten you. And they know deep down inside you are afraid of them. The Islamic men have put such a fear in this world because they have proven what they will do if you make one cartoon joke about Muhammad. All day long, people, you see Muslims say they believe in Jesus, but that's not true. Jesus was the prophet too. No, they don't believe in that. Because if they did, they would be killing all of you for your insults to Jesus, but they don't kill you for insulting Jesus. Yet they say they believe in Jesus. That's the lie. That's the rub. They kill you only if you insult Muhammad. Don't you get it? And all of you have bought into this lie. And why? Don't blame Islam. Because see, all of you turned on your own faith before Islam took advantage of you so that they can turn on all of you. You already dismissed your faith. There's no Islamic countries in this world where they dismiss their Islamic faith. Only the Westerners and the Christians dismiss themselves. Only you. You hate God. You even hate your own prophets. They don't hate their prophets. You hate yours. You hate the men and women that God put in your life to preach to you, encourage you. You fight against them. They don't fight against theirs. No. And Islam can see your easy pickings. Any Muslim can see that Hezbollah, Hamas, Boko Haram, Al-Qaeda, ISIS. They already know that Christian women go around dressing like prostitutes. Not Muslim women, Christian women. They already know. You don't really believe this. Why do you believe? They don't have any respect for you. You look like whores and prostitutes. They look at the white men. They don't pray. They don't fall on their face. They don't seem to have any real reverence for God. They just want to go to a little Bible study, have a little church service thing for two. They can see that you're not committed, that you eat like pigs and you eat the pig. They can see that. They look at you and they go, look at them. They're not real followers of God. There's nothing about them that shows that they're followers of God. Why? Because they got a band on Sunday morning. The church is packed with ice cream and cookies and special strobe lights. They don't see you as fearing God. They don't see anything that says to them, you revere God. To them, you are so full of materialism and hedonism. You are easy pickings, and therefore you deserve to be raped and killed and maimed and subjugated. Don't you get that? They don't respect you. They see you yourselves as abrogating your own responsibility. You have no self-respect in your own faith. Most of you argue about your own faith. I've known many of you for years. You're in a constant state of argument with God and practicing your own faith. And what? You think the Muslims don't see you as easy pickings? Hypocrites? Useless? They respect, as a theocratic people, they respect those people that have that fervor for their God. They look at the West. You have no fervor for God. The French, Germany, England, they're watching. And they say, you're easy to pick off because they do have a fervor for God. And they will lay down their lives and their children's lives and their everything for the wrong goal. But you were supposed to have that for the right goal. You were supposed to be that man, that woman with the fervor for God. Instead, it's exercise, it's golf, it's basketball, it's sports, it's fun, it's Disneyland, it's sex, it's the beach, it's tanning. You're useless. And God's allowing it as a punishment and a testimony. So he says to you, You took me out of your schools. You've aborted your own children. You don't even spend a whole day in Sabbath. You're really not into me. So why are you complaining when I allow your enemy to come and spank you? You give God crumbs and then wonder, nations like the Islamic nations that are so committed with a fervor and zeal that's unmatched. God goes, where were you for me? Then you wonder why. You're too busy debating what you should and shouldn't. I don't know if I really want to believe that. I don't have this view. I don't have that. You have no real love or no real passion for your faith. If anything, your faith is just an idea, but it's not in your heart. But you look at the Islamic record, their history, and you'll see what they are willing to do because of their zeal and love for their Allah and their Muhammad, prophet. You all ought to be ashamed of yourselves as you're watching the West fall from Europe to California, and it's going to have a great fall. Look in the mirror. For the most part, you are to blame for a lot of it. Because how fervent have you been to the God that you say you believe? How fervent have you been in your house, respecting your husband, raising your wife and your children to follow God, being an example in your job and in your community, in your neighborhood? Just how faithful have you been? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. You're under grace. You don't have to be. Time for your judgment.